real quick, all four of us look like we could be a band of Vikings.
This time, multi-classing has come up.
Yes.
I realize.
Yeah, so I guess we'll address that real quick. The reason that we're not going with multi-classing for this particular top 10 is because we're trying to take a look at the class just if you go level 1 through 20 as that class and nothing else, because depending on what you take, you can make any class work for you with the proper multi-class.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah, if we're playing it just like power-wise, like if we're going to talk about multi-class, and some of these have really good multi-class abilities. Two that we already talked about, Barbarian and Fighter, they're literally like peanut butter and jelly. You put those two together because it makes the Barbarian more interesting and more fun to play. That's what my Fighter, or my Barbarian's doing. He's a Barbarian 6, Fighter 1. Eventually I'm going to go into the battle techniques because that does make him a lot more interesting, give him more to do.
Warlock Sorcerer is another really good combo.
Yep.
Sorcerer Paladin.
Yep.
Sorcerer, if we were taking multi-class into consideration, I think Sorcerer would be a lot higher because it just...
This would be a 12-hour list. Yeah.
Yeah,
it would be.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, next up, the Ranger.
You said Ranger's next?
Yep, Ranger is next. Honestly, and I want to go and do one thing beforehand. Wildkin, Beast Barbarian, absolutely. I played a Beast Barbarian. They're really, really, really fun.
I need to play a Beast Barbarian.
I think Ronifero should give his ranking first on Ranger because he is currently playing one.
That's fair. I can do that.
Yeah.
Ranger is, even though with all the updates and everything, they're still 9th on my list.
That's fair.
Combat, middle of the pack. Roleplay, middle of the pack. They're kind of stuck in the I'm protecting these woods. That's where your mind goes to immediately. So that's what I'm going to say.
That's
is like
what
how
you think about.
Exactly. That's the way I'm going to define my roleplays. How quickly do they turn into basically either a cliche or a stereotype? And unfortunately, Rangers kind of do. You can play with that just a little bit, but usually they steer right into the I am protector of this wood. Versatility, they're pretty versatile. They can be melee fighters, they can be archers, they can be healers even, but they're not great at the healing part. So like a little lower on the versatility. They're just basically middle of the pack and everything. That's my opinion on that.
That's fair. I put Ranger at 10. With a lot of the recent updates too, they actually got a little better, a little more fun. They gave more options to the Ranger, and obviously, as you said, the idea of a Ranger is that you protect your forests. But obviously, they don't have to be like that. They could think of your team as like your group, your pack that you have to protect, kind of thing as well. That is just what they can do. But they're cool. They have the ability to do a lot of stuff. Just other classes sometimes could outperform it.
That's fair.
Yep.
Yeah. I have them as my last honorable mention.
Oh,
that's fair.
I feel like they're like a fighter, in a lot of regards. I haven't played one since Tasha's came out, but I did play one back in the day. I was like a vampire hunter warlock. I was, like Van Helsing Ranger.
That's kind of cool.
That's really cool.
I kept wishing I was a fighter. so maybe my biasness has pushed it down a little bit, but I have not been afraid of letting my biases affect my numbers.
Mine are slightly skewed because of that, but honestly, if I were to really let my bias on the Ranger go, it would have been a little bit higher. I just can't. I can't give it a little bit higher. I'm playing the Drake Warden, which is really, really, really fun.
Yeah.
But it's just better Beastmaster is really all it is.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's really better Beastmaster.
Apparently, real quick, all four of us look like we could be a band of Vikings.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's the highest compliment.
I like that.
We're done.
That's pretty cool.
The list is done. Ophono 101. Yep.
So Barbarian's number 1 now, right?
Yes, please. Barbarian number 1.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, we're done.
Yep.
Yep.
Bye,
Best
guys.
roleplay character's done. See you guys. I'm out of here.
Oh shit, he's not coming back.
Yeah.
And he needs to give us his
I actually just popped my knee. Oh, that was so much better.
Nice.
Actually, it's you, Bricker. You're the one that needs to give us your take on Ranger.
So I was actually a little bit
Yes.
kinder than all of you. I gave Ranger a number 6 spot because I I understand that there are a lot of classes that can do what they do better, but they kind of remind me in a way of a less charming bard. They can do a little bit of everything. When I think of ranger, I don't necessarily, and I understand that there is the whole pigeonhole, yeah, they protect the forest thing. I actually don't see that when I think of a ranger. I think more of an archer master than anything else. Granted, that's because of what we did in 3.5, where I basically made a ranger, arcane archer, etc. monster that was amazing.
Arcane Archer is a fighter subclass.
Yeah,
And it's terrible now.
it is terrible now. It was a multi-class conglomeration of shit. But I have a lot of respect for Ranger, especially with the new Drake Warden feature. Again, just because they can do a little bit of everything, that's why they're higher on my list.
Mhm. Cool.
Emphasis on a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, like before, they were bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
I did put them at 9 because they are better than a few of the other options here. What was a little bit below them?
I think
Also,
if
D10
they get-
health is nice.
Oh, actually, I'm
That
sorry.
is.
They were actually at 10, not 9. They were the bottom of my
okay.
list because fighter was just above them because they're basically like you're saying another flavor of fighter.
Yeah.
They could be a fighter subclass, to be honest.
That's the thing. But they could also, as Kirik has proven, they could also technically be a rogue subclass if they wanted to.
Well, now that you mentioned rogue, we can actually move on over to rogue. That's a good little segue right
Yeah,
there.
I
Yeah,
like that.
Perfect. Well planned and executed.
Yeah.
You're all going to be really pissed at me.
Well,
Because you
then-
put it in honorable mention.
Yeah, lead us off.
It is an honorable mention.
Really?
Ranger does exactly what rogue does,
That's
but
fair.
they have magic.
I actually put Rogue at 7 just because I feel like they can get in and out of more situations than other classes, especially in combat.
They do.
Yeah.
And they do have like a couple classes, what is it, like Trickster and such, where they can actually do really cool things. Like, what was it? They get Mage Hand, don't they? Trickster, Rogue?
Yes.
Arcane
Yeah.
Trickster
Oh,
gets mage hand.
An
Yeah, so
invisible
little
mage
stuff like-
hand.
That's even
Yes.
better. So like little stuff like that is kind of why I put Rogue a bit higher. Because that allows a rogue to do, well, if you want to say rogue does sneaky stuff, or maybe the rogue can be like a bard kind of rogue where they just put on shows for other little reasons.
That
Yeah.
and some classes of rogues, like, you can basically make, as long as you have a couple weeks to do so, I think it's a 1 or 2 week period, you can make passports, fake documents. You can essentially take over someone's entire fucking life.
Right.
They,
Roleplay ability with rogues, you're absolutely right. They're off the charts. There's only 2 classes that are better than them roleplay wise. Versatility, that's kind of hurt them. They're damage dealers, basically. They're DPS. You can't really do much else with them. And
Yeah.
honestly, if you look at the numbers, they're not that great at DPS. They get 1 attack per round, and their sneak attack averages them out to like just below fighter and barbarian.
yeah,
Whereas Ranger got a little bit higher than them because Ranger has spells to augment what they're doing. They can be a little more versatile about what they can do, and give them a set of thieves tools in the criminal background, and they're a rogue.
yeah.
They're basically a rogue.
I gave Rogue 10 as my 10 spot because, again, they are kind of the one-trick pony with sneak attack and I'm out, but the reason that they didn't go on to the honorable mentions list is simply due to the fact that there is the Arcane Trickster background. The Arcane Trickster, and the only reason that I speak so highly of it is because I'm getting the opportunity to play it. It has given my character a lot of fucking options, and it's honestly, it's not that bad. It's pretty damn good, actually.
The question is, do you actually like Arcane Trickster, or do you just wish Warlock had more spells?
Yes.
So where did you rank it, Bricker?
I gave it the number 10 spot for me.
Number 10.
Also,
I have
real quick, I'm sorry, we got a compliment, and I feel everybody should hear this.
Oh boy.
So real quick, first off,
Oh, compliments.
top right, which is Ronefro, with our Viking group, you're the leader. Baby Rhino, you are a
Berserker.
two-handed axe berserker. Sopo, you are the negotiator and peacekeeper, and I am the one in the back charging with a hatchet and sword. And then the compliment part, he said, as someone who
Love
doesn't
it.
play D&D, though, this combo is great. the fellows are genuinely entertaining and knowledgeable. So
Oh,
I'm so
thanks.
glad we can be.
I'm hella blushing
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
It's
me
also
too.
kind of
I
fucking
need more
hot in this
water.
room.
It is-
Yeah, no shit. It's really fucking hot here too.
Yes,
I
same
really
much.
want to. I really want to be like, nah, man, we're just bullshit. I've got 10 years of D&D experience under my belt, and about 5 of that is 5e.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about the same
Oh, it's not
actually.
going to- oh
Dude, we're old.
We are old. We are definitely.
Yeah. Being old
It's over
sucks.
10 years of D&D experience at this point. It is now what?
That is a third
12,
of our
13?
life.
Yeah, man, we're nerds.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
Spellsaver.
sorry. What did the rest of you rank Rogue?
We just need Sopo.
I had it at 8. I have it, it was funny you said like sneaky sneak or something. I'm like, that's literally the first 2 words on my notes for Rogue is sneaky sneak.
It's not wrong.
And even in my note, I said should probably be a little lower, but I've never seen someone play Rogue and not have fun playing as a Rogue.
That's true.
Exactly.
Rogue is
They are
just fun.
so much fun. I
They're fun.
enjoy it.
I feel like we should make the statement that every class in D&D is actually just fun to play.
That's
They're all
fair.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even
monks.
monks, even though
This
they're
list
the
is
lowest
bullshit.
on my list. Yeah,
Even
this
monks.
list is 100. This list is 100% bull. Whatever you want to do, like just do
Yeah.
it. Just have fun.
Thank
Monks,
you
I'm
so
gonna
much
play
for the
monk one
500
day.
biddies, dude.
I need to
Thank
play a monk
you.
too. I want to
appreciate
what was it,
that.
Sun Soul Monk? I gotta play fucking Goku. Come on.
Wait.
That's why I wish monks. Oh my god, I want monks to be more anime. Wizards of the Coast. I know you're watching this because we're famous.
Yes.
Wizards of the Coast. Make it
Hella
anime.
famous.
No one cares about Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon anymore. Make it Goku. Because you already put
Yeah.
Ki in there. Make
But
it Goku.
here's the
Give him a higher
problem.
hit die and just make him strong.
Here's the problem, because I follow anime Facebook pages, and I am so tired of seeing, but can they beat Goku? I don't need that in my D&D. I don't need to see, oh, I've made
don't
this
wanna beat
amazing
Goku?
hexagon. I don't need to see, oh, but can they beat Goku? You.
Goku is stupid as and he's not very charismatic. He's absolutely getting banished. I'm
I
sorry.
know. But he's strong
cannot
enough to
resist
come
it.
back.
Oh my god. I forgot monks can be the avatar. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe depending on how your DM likes to do stuff, allow you to actually use all the elements as well.
You know, there
I
is
don't-
actually a subclass for you. It's called Away of the Four Elements, and it's garbage.
It can be.
Yeah.
It depends
Yeah.
on how the DM wants to work
I
with
think-
you.
I think it needs some Ranger updates for
Yes.
Way of the Four Fists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of did. Remember the dragon ones they just released? Way of the Ascended Dragon? It's basically
Oh.
Way of the Four Elements, but better.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I haven't looked too in depth into
It's
that.
it's pretty
particular
good.
Subclass.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. You get breath weapons for free, basically.
Which is
Oh.
dumb.
Yeah. It's
I
really
like
good.
that.
I'll play that one day too, for sure.
Real quick, I wanted to make a proposition to you guys. At some point, do we want to do a tier list or potential top 10 of all the races in D&D?
Yes.
I'd be down.
So many fucking races.
So
We
we're
would
gonna.
have to do
So what
a
you're saying is we'll
tier
do it
list
tonight.
as opposed
We'll-
to
Offer.
top 10.
We'll definitely have to do a tier list, but we're also going to have to take into consideration we can't do the stats unless that is their special thing, like humans. Because
Like very
Tasha's
human.
Yeah, Tasha said, "Fuck you." Everybody can do what they want with their stats, so that does not
Yes,
take into consideration. It's only special abilities like the Leon and Roar ability, compared to the Satyr having magic resist. Hint, hint. Satyr's better.
Yeah. Well. Real
Magic
quick,
is fucked.
Sopa, we got a question about your Kraken flag. If you could elaborate on that real quick, as to what it's all in regards to.
It's an octopus. It's pink and it's the same color as my logo.
There you go. You heard it straight
Simple
from him.
enough.
Yep.
A little higher. It's a. Oh no, it's just around the head. What's it say?
Master of the Depths.
Oh yeah, and then it says Sea Legend.
Yeah.
Sea Legend.
Like,
Sea Legend with
honestly,
two
so-
E's?
No, A
Ah.
Yeah.
like the ocean. I'm gonna be putting a bookshelf here, and it's gonna go to about here.
So
Uh,
we're not
what
even
it's
gonna
gonna
see it
cover.
anymore.
You're not gonna. You'll see like the top of the octopus and stuff, but you won't see where it says Sea
Okay,
Legend.
that's kind of cool. Like a creeping octopus at all times. Okay, I dig it.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'll have all my Nicky Knacks, my
And your patty wax. Yes.
Damn it.
Stop being mean to the Irish.
Never.
My D&D books and minis and stuff like that on that
Nice.
bookshelf.
All right. Sorry, went way off topic there.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Yeah,
We were
so
talking about the
Rogue.
rogue. Are we done with rogue? Or did Sopo? Did you give us your opinion? You haven't. No, you did. You did. Okay.
I put him at 8. Yeah. I just wanted to throw out there. Nobody mentioned it, and that's fair. Oh no, what I was gonna say, Renifro, you said that they're like a combat only class, not really versatile. The only thing I think that's mildly untrue about it, which is not beneficial for D&D, like as a group storytelling, is scouting. You know,
Exploration, basically the exploration pillar. Everybody
yeah.
ignores.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think rogues are pretty good at that, but
Yes.
like it's like, all right, well, let's feature the rogue doing roguey stuff for a little bit.
They are, but that also goes into why Ranger is higher for them. Ranger's a wisdom-based caster, so you're encouraged to put stats in that. Rangers are better at being scouts than they are.
Yeah, I dungeons, checking for traps and stuff. I
True,
was
true.
picturing
Yeah.
that as a rogue thing.
No,
Bard's
absolutely.
very
You
rogue.
know, you need your rogue stats when your bard decides, I'm gonna go ahead and walk up to the townspeople and say that I'm famous, get captured, thrown in jail, and then the rogue warlock multi-class has to spend all his spell slots to get her out of goddamn jail.
Are you
Sorry.
speaking from experience?
Sorry. No, not at all. It's just it's hypothetical.
I'm sorry. That was no. I'll give the DL because she's not here. Anyways,
Belgium elf.
somebody, I'm not gonna name any names. Taylorade plays a bard in my Wednesday campaign, and she is very charismatic. She can lie about most things. Well, this country's at war. There's basically a civil war going on, and the enemy has taken over a city that she used to go to for like just hanging out, basically. Well, she thought she was going to be able to walk up there and just basically say, "Hey, your leader sent me. I'm a bard. I'm gonna play music for you." Didn't disguise herself or anything. Wearing foreign clothing that definitely was not in this area. They arrested her immediately.
Yeah. And
Who would've
guess
thought?
who spent all their damn spell slots getting her out of the jail?
The worst part is,
Fricker?
Yeah.
four guards were watching her, and then she goes, "I'm royalty." Well, now there's 8 in there. Because they know they can get money off of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
I'm
you're
not
just
bitter,
a
by the way.
prisoner. You're a prisoner of war.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh, so that was it. And then the barbarian got in because they had a bit of a smarter idea. They disguised the fighter to look like a merchant from the local area and went up and said, "Hey, we got a bunch of stuff like beard stuff. Like, you want it?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, sure," because like that's a lot easier of a lie to sell.
Yeah. Which I think also takes away from your point about barbarians not being smart.
That one particularly is. Remember, whenever I say the role play tier, it's what you drift towards.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, the rogue kind of suffers from that a little bit because you drift towards the criminal, the edgelord in the corner that just doesn't talk to people. That's what you drift towards.
Yeah, I went more towards the I'm gonna steal coffee every day because that sounds fun.
You were primarily a warlock.
No, it's split
Why
right down the
coffee?
middle now.
Is it really? Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Why coffee?
Because my character that I'm playing was a slave at one point and never got to experience things like coffee. He tasted it once, realized, holy shit, this gives me the zoomies because he's a tabaxi, and now has a slight caffeine addiction.
I was about to say,
and it's great.
you're throwing the slave word around. He was a pet.
Yeah, listen.
That's
Which is,
Semantics?
honestly, that's even worse. They ended up
Yeah.
blowing the town up, which I do not care. I'm like, that town.
Yeah, but anyway.
Except for there's a knoll running around that used to be his neighbor that would bark at him all the time, and yeah, eventually
Great. That sounds.
he's gonna show up eventually.
No, that sounds
Love
fucking
that.
great. I'm so happy that you said that. Moving on. What's the next
Oh
one?
yes. We have my personal favorite, sorcerer.
Man, I'm gonna get some hate.
You're
Oh,
definitely
no.
gonna get some hate from me.
Oh yeah,
Let's let you go first.
9.
Really?
Why?
Sorcerer is
Made
great
it
and all.
work,
Sorcerer is
to be
really
honest.
great, but I don't know. Sorcerer just doesn't feel fun. This is also honestly, personally for me, Sorcerer
Okay.
just doesn't feel fun.
That's fair.
There's a lot it can do, a lot it gets, and the fact that it's a charisma base, isn't it?
Yes.
It is, yes.
So, yeah, it's just I don't know. I like Bard more as a Christmas based caster. Sorcerer is fun, sure, but
Did you take
give me something else.
Did you take meta magic into consideration? They're the only ones that get it naturally,
Nope, I did not.
and
I
that makes them
certainly did.
super flexible casters.
Fair enough.
Sopa, what did you put sorcerer at?
Number 2.
I will second
Yes,
that. I'll let you
I-
take the floor.
I think they are new player friendly, the best spellcaster wise. Where wizard is a little straightforward, they have a huge list. You don't have a book to worry about. You'll always be able to cast your spells. Meta magic's a little on the iffy.
Sorcerer points disagree with the. Oh, they're easy to play.
Yeah, sorcerer
Yeah.
points.
I was
are-
gonna say
yeah.
there's
They're
one
a little
magic user
complex.
that's easier. And we haven't gotten to them yet.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get
Wait,
there.
Warlock?
Warlock is the intro to magic
Yeah,
class, basically.
yeah.
I wish
Probably-
I played a Warlock
probably is.
earlier.
Yeah, because now you play it, you're like, that's all I can do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But we're not talking about them. We're talking about sorcerer,
yeah,
their
we'll
bigger
get
brother.
there.
Yeah, the bigger brother. Yeah,
The bigger
exactly.
brother.
All of their subclasses are very fun from a lore, from a roleplay perspective, as well.
Yeah, their subclasses do have a lot of flavor that adds to the role playing. For example, my character was a wild magic sorcerer, and his whole life was to cause chaos. But he was good. He was a good guy, so it was good kinds of chaos. Like, I don't know, fucking baker's carrying a basket, and then all of a sudden, boom, it just explodes into fucking muffins everywhere. Now everyone gets something to eat. Good
Muffin button?
chaos. Mutton butt. Yeah, muffin butt.
Mutton
My-
button.
Mutton button is even better because like just lamb everywhere.
Yeah.
That is mutton, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yes, it is. Yeah. As a meat cutter, yes. I'm also playing a wild magic sorcerer currently. Or
They're so
I don't. It's so much fun.
Wild
But
magic
I'm playing as a fairy, which is a broken race.
That sounds
but a lot of
very
fun.
exhausting.
Ah!
So,
I'll
see
give you
myself
inspiration in this chat.
Yes.
What's he
The
gonna
way
roll on
I-
that for?
Like,
You'll-
the way I do my chaos is
see.
since I'm from the Fae,
I hate that.
like my magic misbehaves in the material plane where most of the adventure takes place. So like I didn't surge during our little adventure in the Feywild, except for like once or twice. But
That's really interesting. The reason we made mine Surge, I did it just to make it a little easier on Breaker because he was the DM during that time. Anytime I would cast, a cantrip would be 5%, and then each level above it would add 5% more to go wild. But the reason why is I was blessed as a child by the Airdrie Fenya. She is a goddess of the Feywilds. So mine was also connected to the Feywilds.
And then he found out his little sister got the same ability, and I think he got a little jealous.
Yeah, I was supposed to be the only one. But it makes sense that she would have a backup. It makes sense she would have a backup plan because I was pretty careless, even though I was the only one who did not die the entire campaign.
real quick to clarify, Brunner, you actually have it at 2?
Yes, it is a 2.
Okay.
Breaker, where'd you put the sorcerer?
Really high.
Well, I actually put it really really low. It's at 2 for me. The reason it's so low on the list for me is honestly the same reasons. Like, it's a very fun class because it is a charisma-based caster. It's once again one of those things that I feel like it has a lot of roleplay opportunities. And on top of that, as much as I love the bard, because the sorcerer does get things like heightened spell, extend spell, things like that, it just makes it a little bit more versatile in combat than what the bard is. So that's why I put it a little bit above where my favorite class is.
I love subtle spell.
You forgot
Yeah, that
twin
too.
spell, twin
Yeah.
banishment. I'm so sorry. Busted.
I know. Me and Rhino were talking about that before all this fucking went down, and I'm like,
And
yeah.
This is what you did.
Yeah, I had a party of 12.
Break the
Guess
game.
what? I don't have 12 anymore. Fuck you.
This motherfucker was like, all right, I got 2 storm giants coming at your asses. All right, I'm going to twin banish both of them. Now we can take our time to get out.
Well, to be fair, you only succeeded on 1, if I remember correctly.
No, I think I got them both, but I don't know. I don't remember exactly how that happened.
No, I remember you guys were fighting 1, and then you got to the other end of the
You're
puzzle
right.
right as the other one came back. So you guys
Yep,
looked
yep.
back in the hall to see this giant arm reaching towards you, but y'all rolled high enough on your deck save.
Yeah, I've him over with that banishment so many times, and I've twin banished too, so we
Yeah.
can just focus on a single opponent.
That's why the Kraken that you guys fought, even though it's not in the rulebook, it got legendary resistance because
You're
you.
afraid I
That's
was-
why.
You were afraid I was just gonna banish that?
Yeah.
Banish the Kraken, why not?
I did try.
Banish is also based off of health, isn't it? I cannot
Charisma.
remember.
It is
Charisma.
charisma.
Which
Charisma.
nobody
no wonder it
has.
failed.
That's
Yeah.
why it's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
It's
like,
so-
it-
the one who's gonna threaten him the most is a melee caster or melee fighter, and he's like, nah, bye.
That's the thing. Like, to me, banishment, because it's ripping you out of one plane of existence to another, to me, it makes more sense as a constitution save. I understand that's every fucking spell, but it makes sense in my head.
I would put it wisdom because you're willing yourself to stay in this dimension.
Or that,
but
yeah.
I agree. That's a much more common
Yeah,
save. than
charisma doesn't make sense to me.
Nah.
Yeah. With 5e, I know part of the philosophy is that charisma does dictate a little bit of like your willpower.
Mhm.
So I think that's why it's charisma. But yeah, banishment is a spell. It's very strong. More than sorcerer gets access to it, but
True.
sorcerer's meta magic is what makes the sorcerer so great.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you
said,
for bringing that back in because we were just way out in space.
I do disagree with the whole, yeah, they're pretty good for new players. I think, in all honesty, between meta magic and
probably
sorcerer
meta-
points, yeah. Because,
I
Ranifro-
wasn't thinking.
yeah, no, I
sorcerer
get it.
points.
Because Ranifro, I think even you a couple times had to double and triple check how many sorcerer points you had used. Especially
absolutely.
in long battles, after a while, it gets very daunting to have to keep track. It's just another thing that you got to keep tally of, so.
Yep, absolutely. I will say that, especially once we got to the later levels when you have so many of them. I was like, how many points have I used? Okay, I only have one left. I need more, so now I got to burn a spell, which I don't even think that takes an action, which is
It's
a little
bonus
busted.
action.
Yeah.
It's a bonus. Okay, so
Which
yeah,
is
it does take a
dumb.
small action. It should be a full action, to be honest.
I agree.
That would be a little more in line. They could just take their whole action because it takes an action to cast a spell. That's my thing.
While we're talking about how good sorcerers are,
Sorcerers.
they have gotten better by adding subclass spells to a lot of them, so that you
True.
get some extra spells.
Yes.
Because that's this. We're talking about all the pros. Let's talk some cons. Their spell list is very limited compared to a lot of the other spellcasters. Not counting Warlock's Pact Magic. And,
I will
Yeah.
say one thing. Moradin did bring up a really good point about charisma. Beholders, their number one stat is charisma. It doesn't matter how good you look; it is your force
It's
of personality.
Still correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
They
it
just put themselves on you, essentially.
exactly.
Project. They're fucking nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, more often than not with the spells and stuff like that, I typically agree with the type of save. Banishment is still one that I'm probably never going to agree with, but I'm also not going to go through and change the rules because,
You're traumatized.
yeah, like, in all honesty, had you not... That's why my two least favorite spells are, in fact, Counterspell and Banishment, solely because of you. I'm hella blushing
Yeah.
right now.